we have a recommendation from the management committee. I've talked to motion. Oh wait, all right, thank you.
I'm sorry.
So now a motion to accept the resignation by Linda Lonsinger. Any second?
Aye.
Reluctantly seconded by Eric Lapp. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's passed. Thank you, Randy. Now, new management chair. I talked to all the members of the management committee, and including Chaz, and there was basically unanimous recommendation that Mr. Kirk become the chair of management. Jim's got 5 years as a Hideaway Hills manager, 41 years with Goodyear Tire and Rubber in various capacities, running retail stores, wholesale stores, got up in the upper management, running a region. He's done budgets, hiring, training, and marketing. So he brings a lot of skills to running our management team. So I would like a motion to approve Mr. Kirk as the new management chair. So moved. By Tom Matthews, and seconded by Linda Lonsinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Kirk, you are now the management chair, and thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and the last one is, we had an open slot on management, and when Chaz was considering the last time we published asking for people who wanted to get on management, we had 2 people step up and say they'd like to be considered. One was Dan Donovan, the other was Jim Kirk. Chaz chose Jim Kirk. So I thought it was only right to go back to Dan and say, are you still interested? He is still interested. If you don't know Dan, oh boy, he's Dan's experiences in computers, food, communication, packaging, 42 years of materials management, logistics, and operations, done large capital projects. He's been a member of Hideaway Hills since 2014, and I think he'll be a good addition to the management committee. So I can have a motion to approve Dan Donovan to fill the open slot on management.
So I'll make the motion.
Dwayne made the motion. And Eric made the second. Got a selective hearing in this job, right? Okay. A motion by Dwayne and seconded by Eric to approve Dan Donovan with management. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Okay, and now we move to open forum. Anybody out there signed up to speak?
I scratched my own.
Scratch yours off.
We're gonna do funds request next.
Thank you. Yeah,
Because I got funds to request.
Yeah, I know you do. Absolutely.
Scott Martin's not here, so I guess he doesn't want to talk.
Nobody wants to talk. We got to get that to the office. Okay. I jumped ahead. We have to do committee reports. I might start by saying we only had 2 committee reports. You got them. Give yourself some reason to remind your chairs, especially during the summer. It tells us what's going on. It also helps keep the chairs focused that they're supposed to be, of what they're supposed to be doing. So please, I'll try to remember to send you a reminder, but it's up to you guys to get your committees to give us a report. All right, now let's go around the room. I'll start with Wayne.
Range committee has nothing new to say.
Okay. How did that seminar go that they had?
With the NRA?
Yeah.
That went phenomenal. It was long and grueling, but
2 days worth.
yeah, six of us are regular range officers, but 10 of us are regular range officers through the NRA with insurance from them too for us. 10 of us are trainers and chief range officers, which means we can train
6 of you.
anybody else. Right.
6 of the trainers, okay.
Yeah. And 10 are altogether grade safety officers.
I used the Rangers recently. Jim Hiles was with us, very professional. I mean, it was first class.
Yeah. Jim's background, like Jim was a Ranger sniper.
Yeah.
You want to watch somebody shoot, you watch Jim shoot. Okay, Fritz?
Doffin area met on the 25th or the 28th of March. They will have a meeting on the 25th as well. I wasn't able to make the first term. I hope I'm going to get this one with them. Then the Organic Garden Committee had a work day last Saturday, and it had been delayed a week due to weather, and we ended up with some pretty nice weather. A lot of people in attendance. I thought it was a good time.
We're getting going. Adopted area, we're getting off to a good start too. He's got Roy Smoot, new chair there. He had an agenda, and he's getting more volunteers, so that ought to be good. Linda?
From Lakes, a reminder that the boat launch is Saturday the 28th, so it's coming up. It starts, well, the little pre-coffee period, it starts at 7:30, and then the launch actually starts at 8 a.m. The Lakes Committee would like a motion to sponsor a hole at the member guest golf tournament on Friday, June 8th for $100.
Okay, Linda's making the motion. Any second?
Second.
Second by Fritz. Motion by Linda Lonsinger, seconded by Fritz to fund $100
Yes,
to
for
the member guest committee from Lakes Committee funds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Approved.
I'm sorry, who was the second on that?
Me.
Fritz.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Got it.
The ORV committee will provide a list of ORV rules to Ginger for publishing in the Echo, and we'd like to have it published every month during the summer months in the Echo.
Are they gonna have another session on getting stickers?
So glad you brought that up, because that was the next thing. We would like to have a session with members regarding the ORV rules for Saturday, May 19th, from 12 to 1. I'd like a motion to have that approved, because we'd like to do an e-blast.
Okay. All right, so Linda's making a motion for Saturday,
May 19th.
May 19th.
12 noon to 1.
a rule session for people to get stickers for underage drivers. Second
Second.
by Wayne,
And we want to hold it at the shelter house.
at the shelter, I'm sorry.
Should we,
Is that the shelter house down front or the
Yes,
ORV
please.
shelter house?
down front? How do we, reserve that?
Well, actually, you can put it on the calendar.
Or call the office, but you told Randy, so
Eric,
it's done. This one's done, since you told Randy.
Okay,
And the other thing is that I know the office is pretty good at watching the minutes, so. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's passed.
they would also like to do, the ORV committee would like to have a work day that same day from 8 to 12.
Motion to have a workday, ORV, second
And it would last,
by Fritz, and, well, now they'll have to give the office the e-blast.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion's carried. Eric?
So they'll have to write out, I'm sorry, they'll have to write out the verbiage for the e-blast.
Yeah,
Okay.
just have Jim send something to the office.
Okay.
But they- And that's the main reason we approved the date, so they can get on the calendar and get, be official. Mr. Webb.
Yeah, the only thing I got is long range planning, and we're moving forward. Got a new chairman. He's got it. We all have homework that we're on the committee to do a bunch of stuff, and that's all I got.
John?
Want to bring everybody up to date on the Health and Wellness Committee on updating the Panacea building. As we mentioned before, all the equipment has been donated, or a lot of the equipment. And they had a demo day, 2 days, a few weekends ago. Demoed, built a large dumpster. That was donated, the dumpster was. Gotten a quote to bring the water in the well up to code. Are gonna have an electrician look at the electric to bring it up to code. And also we're working on having the septic system looked at. So far, everything's been donated. Haven't spent any committee monies or club money on it. And that's the plan going forward. And also, they'd like to make I'd like to make a motion that for a raffle, they'd like to auction off a fire pit with the HAH logo on it.
Motion by
Second.
Tom to raffle off, or for the Health and Wellness, raffle off a fire pit with the HAH logo on it. Seconded by Eric Lapp. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried.
That's it. Everything else with golf, I've mentioned last week, and the Health and Wellness has the 5K coming up on May 26th. And tennis is going to schedule a work day here shortly.
regarding health and wellness in the Panacea building, health and wellness is doing that as kind of a committee function, but it has no ramification to Hideaway Hills at this time. They're working directly with Frank Panacea. Frank would have sent them some sort of communication allowing them to do the demo. It's off-site, so to speak. It's a private property, so we can't insure them. We checked that, and it's they want to keep moving forward, and I'm supportive. I know management committee is supportive. We'd like to find a way to help them, but we can't figure out how to do it and not.
How will it be insured?
Pardon?
What entity will insure it?
If anything happens at this point, it's Mr. Panacea's problem right there.
And once the equipment's in?
Still there. It's like an ORV group going to the Hocking Hills, having a ball out there. We've done nothing. In effect, we're not involved. We have to stay that way, insurance-wise. Unless the concern too is that it's private property. That's probably the biggest concern. If we're private property, we probably could do something.
They're looking at having everyone sign waivers. Without a whole lot of, and I think they've also looked at purchasing additional insurance, and it wasn't that much.
Who's we?
The committee.
Pretty well run. They've got a lady, Julie
Evans.
Julie Evans. She's got a spreadsheet of what that needs to be done, and
As the lessee. So is the lessee trying to insure, is there a lease?
No, the main thing, Frank just wants to get out of the monthly assessment. He's willing to let us have the building for 10 years. He basically says you can do anything you want to it, remodel it, whatever. He's not using it, and I mean, it was in, not the greatest shape.
No, it wasn't in the greatest shape.
No.
There should be some kind of legal contract. There really should be. There should be a lease agreement, and it should be a 10-year if that's what you want, but it needs to be buttoned down.
He's coming up in July. Frank is.
Coming up.
Florida or wherever he's at.
Well, I really think we need to button it down because
Well, would you be willing to look at it?
I'd look at it, but I'm not a real estate attorney, and I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just saying that it's somehow, some way, this could turn around and bite the people who are trying to put this together. The committee. The committee is a committee of Hideaway Hills. I think we need to look at what we can do to secure this in a better way. That's all I'm saying, and that's I'm sorry, I just. Also, put on my attorney hat.
That's right. I think
it's 100% right, and I will say that I know a real estate attorney who offered, and it was not. So.
Well, one of the things that management considered was to have our attorneys look at it to protect us. Not that we're getting any more involved, but we want to see what the agreement is, and I
Yeah, I agree with Linda. This is just, it's between the lessor and the lessee. That's private property, but her advice is, it's, her advice is, and I think,
Okay, I'll look into it.
and the real estate attorney, so.
Okay.
And I love you, Tom, and I want this to happen, but I'm just.
Yep.
Once she has her next arthroscopic surgery, she's gonna be over there.
You betcha.
What happens, is a club function, or not a club function, but committee's function. So those people are indemnified. If something happens over there and they get sued, are they not
on private property?
They're not indemnified.
Not on
Okay.
private property.
This would be another question for an attorney who's offering
Yeah,
services
yeah,
pro bono.
just a little, I agree
So,
100%
just saying.
on that. Who's paying the assessment if Frank isn't?
Larry wouldn't talk.
Health and wellness,
He just said-
they're gonna,
That's what I mean. Health and wellness is paying the assessment. That's basically their rent.
right.
He wouldn't push,
The health and wellness is just basically an extension of Hideaway Hills as a committee, I would think.
That's what I was thinking, if they're not indemnified on private property, but states that.
Well, the same thing as if you had a committee having a committee function in somebody's house.
I'm so tired.
Right, by the way, those are not well, property comes first. Would we be sued? Yeah. Yeah, come on, I
Yeah.
understand that. So, okay.
Yeah.
Valerie?
Pool committee, they're selling their green Hideaway Hills logo beach towels for $25 and white with green trim logo beach bags for $20 until the 1st of May. Work day on May 5th for the pool committee to clean up the area around the pool and add additional mulch. Need approval for that?
Just for the committee? We wouldn't have to get committee unless they're gonna be asking for volunteers.
I don't know. They purchased already 6 new cantilevered umbrellas using amenity funds. Those are gonna be added to the pool area. And I would like to make a motion that we approve for them to have, same thing they did last year, Family Fun Day on opening day of the pool. That's May 26th, Saturday, from 12 to 2, and they're gonna provide food, drinks, etc. So that's, my motion.
All right, motion by Valerie, and
Second.
a second by Linda for the pool committee to have a family fun day on May 26th from 12 to 2.
That's a Saturday.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Why don't we go ahead and approve, that's approved, no, why don't we approve that work date, that way they can ask for extra
We'll
volunteers.
ask them for a motion to approve a workday for pool committee May 5th to do cleanup.
Okay.
as needed.
Anytime?
Second.
All right, so it's a motion by Linda to approve a workday for the pool committee on May 5th, seconded by Dwayne Mickey. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is passed.
Okay. And,
Valerie?
Valerie that made the motion.
Valerie
Not
made the
Linda.
motion.
At the chapel committee, we already approved
Okay, that's fine.
the Mother's Day, and the selling of the, flowers, hanging baskets. That's a Friday and a Saturday prior to Mother's Day. That's already approved. I would like to make a motion that we approve up to $1,800 for them to purchase. Exact amount's not known yet, but we'll take care of that with an invoice later. So, motion to approve
Flowers.
up to $1,800 from the committee funds, the chapel committee funds, to purchase the hanging baskets and flowers. There will be some purchase for the chapel area as well, but they do real well the sale of these. They have every year, and yes, they have $1,800.
Second? Second by Fritz, to approve up to $1,800 from chapel committee funds to purchase the hanging baskets for their fundraising sale. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is passed.
Okay, also approved for a chapel cleanup date. That's the 28th. Don't have any detail on that, so
April 28th.
let me ask for a
April 28th, May 28th?
April 28th
We're 20, okay.
for a chapel cleanup day.
Second? Somebody?
Second.
Second by Linda Monsinger. Motion by Valerie to approve a chapel cleanup date on April 28th. Time to be announced. I saw that on Facebook, right?
That's it, too.
Yeah, well, they can eat blasted now too. Okay, anything else?
Did we vote on that?
No. No, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
It is
No,
approved.
I'm finished. Thanks.
Okay, now, moving on, unfinished business, staff training. Randy, you get a date yet?
I do not have a date yet.
All right, we're just leaving those things on the agenda so we remember. It might happen sometime yet in April, but we're gonna get a date.
Supposed to.
The home sales party was referred to the Constitution. They haven't met yet. Nominating's got 3 people confirmed, and we've got 3 others that we're in process where people are deciding if they're going to run for board. With that, I'm gonna reapprove the e-votes, reaffirm the e-votes. The first one on the 21st of March was an e-vote to approve the well and septic workshop on April 19th from 5 to 6 in the lodge. That was approved 6-0. They have a motion to approve that one.
So moved.
Dwayne moved,
Second.
second by Linda to approve that 321 e-vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is passed. All right, I'm gonna read all the others that were approved, 8-0. An e-vote on 329 to pay $1,837.03 from the Lakes Committee funds to be paid to Belson Outdoors for the dam benches. Then on April 3rd, an e-vote to approve $1,259.65 to promotions by design from Fund, Food, and Fellowship Committee funds that will be used to raise the deck fundraising. On the 6th of April, the e-vote to uphold a $100 fine assessment as Brian Rubin assignment on Brian Rubin for abuse of security for the incident on August 12, 2017. On the 10th of April, an e-vote to approve the chapel cleanup date of 4/28. And on the 10th, an e-vote to approve the annual Mother's Day hanging basket sale, May 4th and 5th, at Highway Hills for the chapel committee. All those were voted 8-0. Can I have a motion to reaffirm those votes?
I'd like to make that motion.
Eric, a motion, and a second by Fritz. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are reaffirmed. Okay. I think I'm right to new members. Any other new business?
How about the assessment increase?
Oh, thank you. I didn't put that in my notes. That's new business. I sent you a rough outline. I would assume if we go ahead with this, that this will be given to a committee, kind of like 66 2/3. I don't know what they call themselves, and put this in a kind of a more marketing format. We already have a couple people willing to run that. I'm not gonna say who yet, but it's kind of open for discussion. You saw the financials, you saw where we're at, and management. There was one member of management that was pushing for the 15%, which would be a $24 increase. The other 4 were comfortable with, they thought 10%, which is $16.40 46 would be easier to pass. The monthly assessment. The only thing I would add is that a lot of the new members are surprised at how low our monthly assessment is for what you get. Is this gonna be easy to pass? No. You got people who are paying $70 a month on their dam assessment.
Yeah.
So it won't be easy to pass. It will be an effort. We have to have meetings to explain them, explain the financials, explain why we need the money. So with that, I'll turn it open to the board, see what you guys think.
It's really, I mean,
Nobody wants to do it, but
that's really, I think it explains itself. And I was on the last 66 2/3 committee. I'm willing to do that again, throw my hat in to help in any way needed. Phone calls, whatever. Last time I think Patrick Boy spearheaded that, and he did a good job organizing people to divvy up the names, make phone calls to members, and
Kevin was also pretty.
Did a good job.
And Patrick did a good job leading the
Yes.
meetings. Very good job. Any other comments?
What is management suggesting?
We want the minimum of 10%. And the thought process was, if we go too high, 15 billion, possibly too high, even though it's not that much more, it's enough that, we gotta get 66 2/3 of the people to vote for it. So we were kind of going with the sure thing, which is the
10%.
Yeah.
I think along with the COLA that we have, because I can hear the question being asked, well, do I still have to have my assessment increased as per the COLA? And then when you say yes, and they're gonna go, oh, hey, if you want 15%, I don't know, I think
that's gonna have to be explained better even to me.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't sure that I had a grip on that, I'll just admit it, of how that was gonna work.
The COLA's already in the code, so yes,
Yeah.
it's still there.
it would be both, so this would be on top of that. And people might not feel so comfortable with that.
What does that average the last few?
$1.5 or something like that from 17 to 18.
Right.
it's not
It's not
keeping up with our expenses.
Yeah.
Right.
It sure isn't.
One way of explaining that is this is a base, it's not going ongoing every year. That's what I was concerned about with the 10%. You mean we're gonna get whacked with the 10% because the COLA is, in other words, I'd like to see the percentage kept out of it, $16, $17. Instead of 10%, because 10%, I relate that to COLA, which means, oh my God, it's gonna go up 17% plus COLA for every year. But if you say this is a base rate one time.
I think what will happen is, I'm in agreement with you, Jim, that the motion we put in front of the membership will read that the monthly assessment will, from a certain date, will be that amount. And so instead of 164 something, it'll be 180.
Yeah.
Something of
And
that
that will be
nature.
the basis of which the COLA will be
That
calculated.
is correct. That's probably the easiest way to explain. And we can round the number, even though they want 10%, we can round it to 16.
Yeah.
Instead of 1640.
Is 10% enough to get us where we need to be? If we don't have to go back in 2 years or 3 years and say, hey, we need more money?
That was the big discussion.
Yeah.
Well,
That was the big discussion. The issue was that we would like 15, well, actually, we'd like more than that, but we would like 15, but whether or not you can sell 15% as opposed to 10, that was what our discussion was. We just wasn't sure we could sell the 15%.
probably would be easier to sell that extra 5% 3 years down the road when all of the dam assessments are over with. If this will hold you over, and then maybe you'll have enough, you don't know.
Well, the one thing, you get a strong commitment from Krieger, Blankenship, and Potassium to get their lodge down to where it ought to be. No, I'm not saying make it a profit, but not losing money like it has been. And it's turning around, but it's not turned around. It's got work to do. So that in itself would be a big deal.
That's significant, yeah.
So that's gonna happen. We'll have to do something. We'll have to do something with the lot. Put it that way. We can't let it continue as it is.
To Jim's point, the 10% would get us, I think, at least 3 years. And then the dam assessment drops off, unless they're in arrears. And then if we have to come back, it won't be in addition to the $70, it'll be,
That makes sense.
I'll tell you something too. I've been through a lot of these assessment increases where you're whacking them up for $25. And most of them, at least the first year, failed. And then you really had to go, you remember some of them? Well, yeah. Oh boy, they were tough to get through.
Just one last thing, you might wanna, as an option, look at round numbers. I like round numbers.
I was just writing it down. I was gonna say 180 would be a
Exactly.
$15.54, $15.54, I think, if I
I
wrote
was
numbers.
reading your mind or vice versa.
You're reading my
Exactly.
mind. And so we can have a motion here that somebody, let's see. Do we need a motion to put it on the ballot? I think we do.
Oh, yeah, the board has to approve it.
So,
And there's a deadline on it too.
well, we could actually still do it at the May meeting, but that's pushing it. Because it's gotta get in the Echo and gotta be published, so we might as well, if we're all in agreement, might as well go ahead tonight. And then we can go ahead and get the committee together, so.
Well, we just really got the financials in that discussion today, and I wanna look at it a little closer.
You can e-vote on it. E-vote on it.
Right now, I think I would vote no, because I haven't had a chance to. I wanna read through what you got here again. I wanna look through the financials some more, and then I feel I can make a decision on it. But right now, I'm not ready to make a vote.
Okay.
But that's my opinion.
Anybody else wanna hold?
I like the idea of the 180. That is a nice round number instead of percentages, or it's going to go up this much.
now that would be a base, we vote on in August, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it said 180 on there, that would be effective pretty much immediately, and then January 1, it would possibly go up. That's not mine.
That's me, I thought, that's a.
Whatever the cost is.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And when I moved here, it was like 150 something, 154. Been here 8 years, that's
Yeah.
Right.
keeping up at all with what's going on in the world. I mean,
That's the issue.
fixed budgets and all of that stuff, but that's minimum to what we have, and then maybe a comparison to all the other lake communities. What are there?
You don't wanna do that,
No, you
because
don't wanna do
it's
that.
comparing apples to oranges.
Right.
Most of them have user fees and.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
everything.
yeah, good point.
It's real hard to compare, yeah. They pay yearly, they don't pay monthly like we do.
Yeah, police their docks.
Yeah, and they charge for everything. So
Gotcha.
basically, their assessments are less than ours, but they have all the user fees.
Which
With
adds
that
on to change.
explanation in there.
Pardon me,
Which adds on to change.
Oh, yeah,
to change.
absolutely.
And here we are, we're an open community. We have anything you wanna do, almost
Free
any
to
time you
you.
wanna do it, free to you, and
It's a lot.
it is a lot.
Is a lot.
So,
Yeah, and the other lake communities can't believe how we do it for what we do. And without committees, we wouldn't do it. In deference to Eric's point, we have 2 board members not here. Dave and Jim would be voting board members, so I would say let me put out an e-vote. Monday, good enough for you?
Yeah, I mean, certainly we've got this. Is management gonna be sending us anything else to kind of justify the rate increase? And I know roads, certainly, and I know you're working on some numbers, but I think that would help us because we're going to be, members are gonna come up to us, well, why are we doing this? Explain to me what's going on. And I don't know that I've got my hands yet. I mean, I get it, but I'd like to have something more, to be able to talk to people.
I'm not sure what you got in your hand. I didn't get a
Oh.
copy of it.
This is-
I'm a new kid on the block.
I can use bigger font, no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
But,
that'd be
yeah, I
fun.
can-
Yeah, I just,
Yes.
to give us
Yes.
something, some ammunition.
Absolutely.
If in fact this is what we're gonna do, we need to be able to justify it to membership.
Might have been in your pack, but pass that to them.
No, that wasn't in first.
Oh, okay.
Another thing, if you would take a look at I don't know if you've had a chance to look at the depreciation list. The things we are funding this year, it's gonna be twice as high next year. And
Okay, so that'd be helpful to know. I mean, that's.
we have put off the new guard shack, which we desperately need, till next year, if indeed we can afford it next year. We have promised maintenance, a restroom, well and restroom for the last, ever since I've been here, and haven't been able to fund that. This year, we asked them about it, whether it would be,
He's seen that.
what they felt about that, and asked maintenance. They said, well, I think we probably need a new guard shack more than we need a septic system. Well, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to afford that, either one of them this year. So those are some of the things, just some of the things that, I think.
Our insurance costs are going crazy.
Insurance costs,
It's
yeah.
not- and that's nothing to do
Healthcare
with
went up
CPI.
6.5%, so, yeah.
Well, and you just said you've been here how many years and it's only gone up $12 or something like that? That doesn't even give us enough to take care of merit increases for our security and maintenance people. So, yeah, we'll put together a more inclusive list of everything that.
But we probably won't have that by Monday, though.
Well, when's our deadline? When do we have to have this so we can make sure?
May board meeting, but it's hard to get a committee going. If you don't have
We have to publish this at least
May Echo is the
3 months out, so,
June Echo,
This is
June
April.
Echo.
well, isn't it would it
No,
be
I'm sure we're
May,
okay if it gets into
June,
May Echo.
July?
July Echo,
Because
after the May board meeting.
the board, the annual meeting is, August.
right.
What about the new member? Increasing that?
Well,
90
Doesn't
days.
affect anybody in here.
Change my
90
vote,
days.
that'd be great.
I mean, it
Tom, that
doesn't-
would, if this goes up, it would also change the new member fee.
Right.
Because the new member fee is based on.
Yeah.
Good
But
point.
it
So
says-
go, all right,
24 months times the fee plus,
because that doesn't affect anybody that's in here now.
Correct.
and the road fee, you know.
90 days out is the 21st of May. That's 90
So
days
it has to
before the
go in the
board.
May echo.
They have to go in the May echo.
Has to go in the May echo.
June,
Well,
July,
the June
vote in
echo would
August.
be too late.
So the May echo, the
And
deadline
this
is
is
set.
April
It's
to
Friday.
whatever.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Oh,
What about the,
Can you push it back?
Push the echo back. I mean, this is kind of a big decision to worry about a publication.
just a thought on the, when we
We
get
have to
new
publish
member
it.
fees
I agree.
and we split them with all of the committees. What about that? It would help, I don't know, how much did we give to the committees?
Well, they get 50% of the new member fee.
Maybe if 1 year,
We can't.
We
It's
just
in
donate
the-
it back.
It's in the code. It's in the code. Right.
Well, we did that
would
with
be,
the silt trap.
Well, yes, we
Or-
did, but we didn't. The committees agreed to give
Yeah.
it back.
Committees gave it.
Yeah,
Committees
they
gave
gave
it
it.
back.
We had to ask them to do it.
Money, yeah. It wasn't like the club took it.
Right.
The committees, we suggested it to the committee, but they thought it was for a good cause, so they.
we as a
The
board members
club-
of the committee go to that committee meeting and suggest that for next year.
well,
You
so
can
if
do
it
that.
doesn't come this August, we'd have to have a special,
Yeah.
meeting,
Right.
member meeting, and that's not gonna go well. Getting people here for a special meeting.
right.
To vote on something, I don't know.
We could delay the echo.
Just delay the deadline.
That'd be a better option.
Yeah. Oh, I'd say a week. But,
Well, how long is it gonna take you to figure this out, Eric?
I mean, you just gave it to me, and I just think we all ought to look at these financials.
I'm not
And-
disagreeing with you, but I'm saying, how long do you think before we can have an e-vote? At that point, they can start going ahead.
Sure,
with their-
I go back
committee
to,
going.
it'd be nice, I'm gonna look through what Greg gave us, okay? I think we should probably get something from management. I know the roads are gonna be a big chunk. Randy talked about the clubhouse. I mean, these are some big expenses, and so these are some justifications. Let's throw some numbers with it so that when membership comes to us and says, why are you increasing our fees, or why are you trying to increase our fees? We can give an answer. That's all.
you're
I'm
not
saying.
gonna have an answer on the ditches, because they have to test them sections to see what it's gonna cost, and that's gonna be one of the biggest expenses, could be $170,000.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
at least a
that's a-
laundry list of items.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be 800, right? So it's gonna be, we know that's another big chunk of expenses coming up. I just want us to all understand that and be able to.
Although you had that for 2 weeks.
Well, that's me. I mean,
Well, that's you,
Yeah.
but Eric?
Well, I'm one vote. If you guys wanna vote, go ahead and vote. I'm just telling you where I stand. I wanna take a little more time to review the numbers.
I'll send the e-vote out Friday, and we'll live or die by the e-vote Friday, and I'll talk to Ginger about the All right, any other new business? Do we have any new members?
Do have some new members. I'd like to make a motion to approve the following new members. Donna Hubner with lot 30, Lisa G. and Jamie Swartzwelder, lot 1873, Matthew J. and Katie Gregory, lots 1639, 1640, and 1641. Matthew Stutter and Mandy Stowers, lots 1277 and lot 1278. And then lastly, Christopher and Diana Keller, lots 130, 1827, and 1828.
Motion by Mr. Lapp to approve those members, wait a second. Second by Linda Lonsinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those are approved. Anything else, anybody? Can I have a motion to adjourn at 8:54? 8:56. Motion by Fritz to adjourn,
Second.
second by Val, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned at 8:55.
8:55.
Hey Val, how much are the beach towels?
25, and then I guess the bags are 20.
Okay, I don't.
Got to give me a beach bag.
What?
I got to give
I
me a
give you
beach
the
bag.
beach towel.
Yeah, because it's gonna be over, what did they say, May